Huh? Can you please check the mattress? You see how Naren has tested me. You must not accept me until you test me thoroughly.
Let none regret that they were difficult to convince. I fought with my master for 6 long years, knowing the result every inch of the way. I've heard that the master's renunciation was so absolute that he could not bear the touch of money. That's why I decided to do that test one day. In those days, I had this burning desire in me to realize the truth. I did many spiritual practices, studied various religions, philosophical systems. None could really satisfy my hunger. Is there a God? Has anyone seen him? Is religion a reality and can be sensed as I sense this world? No one can answer me directly. At this time, I met this saintly man at Dakshineshwar. I later accepted him as my master. I asked him the same question.
No one can say with certainty God is this and nothing else. God is formless. And again, he has forms. For Bhakta, he assumes forms. For Jnani, he is formless. That is for him, the world is a mere dream.
Sir, have you seen God?
Yes, I have. I've seen him. As I see you, only more clearly. God can be seen. One can talk to him. But who cares for God? People shed tears for wife, children, and wealth. But who weeps for the vision of God? If one weeps for him sincerely, one can see him.
He was the first one to say that he had indeed seen God. And I can see him too. That religion is a reality and every one of us can have direct experience of it. It was hard for me to accept the non-dualistic view that everything was really Brahman. In those days, I didn't accept anything unless I had direct experience of it. One day, I was having this conversation with my master.
It is blasphemous and there is no greater sin in the world than to think of oneself as identical with the Creator. I am God, you are God, these man-made things are God. The sages who wrote these things must have been insane.
You may not accept the views of the seers, but how can you abuse them or limit God's infinitude? Go on praying to God of truth and believe in any aspect of His that He reveals to you.
How can this be? This cup is God, this jug is God, and we too are God. Nothing can be more preposterous.
Naren, what are you talking about?
That magic touch of the master immediately brought a wonderful change over my mind. I was stupefied to find that there was really nothing in this universe but God. I returned home, but there too, everything was really Brahman. I sat down to take my meal. The plate, the food, the person who served me, everything was really Brahman.
Ma?
Naren, why do you sit still? Oh, Vishnu, what happened with my son? Are you taking him away from me? He has never been like this before. Please, protect
even going to college, I had the same experience. While walking on the streets, I'll notice cabs driving towards and past me, and I won't feel inclined to move out of the way. It was as if the cabs and myself were really one stuff. There was no sensation in my limbs. It was as if they were getting paralyzed. I was in a comatose state. When that state altered a little, the whole world seemed to appear to me as a dream. While walking on the streets, I'll hold on to iron railings and strike my head against them to see if they were real or only a dream. When I became normal, I realized I had a glimpse of the Advaita state, the state of oneness. And the words of the sages and scriptures were not false. In those days, I also did not believe that God could incarnate himself. Many devotees differed with me. They had this belief that God, with his inscrutable power, descends down to earth in human body to serve a divine purpose, such as Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, our Master himself. I didn't believe it. For me, God is infinity. How can one comprehend him? He dwells in every human being. It's not that he manifests himself to one person only. 2 days before the Master's passing away, I was alone in that room with him. Master had his throat cancer. It was an excruciating pain. A thought flashed across my mind. Well, now with this pain, if he can declare that he is an incarnation of God, only then I'll accept that he is indeed.
Oh, my Naren! Are you still not convinced? He who in the past was Rama, and later Krishna, is now in this very body as Ramakrishna. Not from your Vedantic standpoint, but actually so.
From that moment, all my doubts about my Master vanished away. He, with his infinite love, transformed the skeptic. This is the message of my Master to humanity. First, make character. That's the highest duty you can perform. Know truth for yourself, and there will be many that you can teach it afterwards. They will all come. For years I lived with that man, and I never heard his lips utter one word of condemnation for any sect. I learned from my Master that the religions of the world are not contradictory or antagonistic. They are but various phases of one eternal religion. Truth can be stated in 1,000 different ways, yet each one can be true.